What is up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's webinar. My name is Justin Laurie. I am your travel agent with Your Adventure is Calling Travel. And tonight we are going to be talking all about Princess Cruise Lines. And we do have a very, very special guest with us tonight, Selena from Princess Cruises. But before I introduce her officially, I just want to make sure you guys know how to interact with us. If you are in Zoom, please use the Zoom Q&A function. That denotes it as a question to us, so we know to address it as a question. If you are watching on Facebook Live or YouTube, just drop it in the comments. We are monitoring those comments. Well, I am actually, and I will be more than happy to accommodate that. Now, without any further ado, let me introduce Selena from Princess Cruises. I'm going to let her introduce herself real quick before we get started.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure being here with you today and just spend some time talking about Princess Cruises. Again, my name is Selena. I'm a business development manager with Princess Cruises. I've myself been on 27 cruises. I've been with Princess. Next month will be 20 years. So hopefully I have a lot of knowledge to share with you and hopefully get everybody excited to sail away sometime, hopefully in the future soon. So again, we just want to make sure that everyone has Justin's information. His email address and phone number is right there on the screen for you. Make sure to reach out to Justin if you have any questions, Princess Cruises. And if you have any questions, make sure to, as Justin said, let us know so we can make sure to answer all of those. We'll go ahead and get started now. So just to start, I want to make sure to put our best foot forward, so while we have this pause in operations, we're not cruising currently because of COVID-19. We want to make sure that everyone out there is looking forward to cruising or vacationing in general. Studies have been done where we have found that people get the most happiness just from anticipating their holiday trip. So let's get started planning your cruise and put some effort into, the destination you're going to be traveling to, look into all of the different ports you'll be visiting, book those shore excursions so you know exactly what you'll be doing in each port, and take your time and have fun with it. There's lots that you can do in terms of dreaming and just looking at all of those different bucket list itineraries that you have and, get busy planning for the future. So this is just a very fun slide that I like to show that basically shows what our elite passengers say about Princess. We look at what our past guests say. It measures the success, at least, that we have, or where we need to work on things, etc. So what this slide shows you is all of the passengers who have sailed with us more than 16 times or have been on very long cruises with us and have at least 151 plus days sailed on a Princess ship. From 2004, we had just under 12,000 elite guests. So this doesn't count any other guests that has not reached our top past passenger status. All the way from 2019, we were at just under 140,000 elite passengers. And for 2021, we're estimating that it'll grow up to 160,000. So what these numbers mean to you is, you can put it in this perspective. If you go to a restaurant and you don't enjoy it, you might give it one extra chance, or you go and try it one extra time. If you're really nice, maybe twice. And if you just have awful experiences both times, you're probably not going to go back to that restaurant or venue. What this goes to show us is that we have passengers that come sail on a Princess ship again and again and again. It shows that we are doing something right. We always welcome feedback and all passenger comments, because that's how any company grows and gets better. But I just wanted to give you just an outlook on how many past cruisers that we do have sailing with us again and again. I had mentioned briefly when I first started that we are currently paused. We're in a paused state. None of our ships are currently sailing. If you've seen the news, you know what's going on, obviously, with all cruise ships currently in terms of the United States and other parts of the world. Currently, all of our ships are paused through June 30th. For Alaska specifically, we're paused through June 27th. Okay, so while we're in this paused state, we are working on our health and safety standards. They're currently in development, so I don't have all of the specifics to share with you today. However, I do have some high level information I wanted to share with you just to make sure that everyone knows we are putting our best foot forward. We do want to make sure that whenever any passenger sails with us, they know that their health is top priority. Safety is a top priority. We are working through these things, and we're taking different learnings and information as we go to then fledge out all of these policies and safety standards. Basically, we will have enhanced health screenings. What that means is that we will be requiring all passengers to get COVID-19 tests prior to sailing. And then once passengers get to the ship, we will also have just temperature checks and things like that. And that will be for both passengers and crew members. We'll have responsible physical distancing. What that means is we want to make sure that everyone understands that we are looking at this distancing instead of it being called social distancing, because we want people to be social, but just as a responsible physical distance. When physical distancing can't be maintained, such as when you're in the terminal areas and other areas around the ships, currently we're saying that masks will need to be used. That can always change. We are taking all of the latest guidance basically from CDC and others when we put all of these policies into effect once we start sailing again. We are making sure to work with our tour operators, etc., to make sure that everyone on land that we will be sending passengers to take excursions with, that they're following our health and safety standards on their tour buses. If you go on a small yacht, for example, for the day, we're making sure that everybody's following our same type of safety standards. In terms of ventilation on the ship, we are working to install HEPA air filters in key areas such as medical centers, isolation rooms, etc. So these are just some of the things, like I said, that we're working on. There are still a lot of areas that we haven't given all of information on yet, just because we're still working with the CDC and others to get all of those policies in place and confirmed. Okay, so next, I want to make sure that everyone knows about our Cruise with Confidence program. We are making sure that everyone knows that when you're booking your next cruise, that it's a worry-free type of an experience. We have our Book with Confidence policy, which I'll talk about in just a moment. We also have our Princess Promise. So while in this pause, we're really looking at our customer service, and we're making sure that it's obviously just at the cornerstone, or one of the cornerstones of everything. We want to make sure that all passengers know that when you sail with us and when you get on board our ships, if you have any type of customer service issue, we make sure to address it immediately. If it's something that needs to be looked into, we will make a promise basically to keep in constant contact with you so you don't feel like we have forgotten. And we just want to make sure that we make it right. Making it right could mean lots of different things. It could mean refunding you for maybe a specialty dining experience you weren't happy with, or getting you another reservation to hopefully then make it up for you. So it could be a lot of different things depending on what the issue is, but we want to make sure that everyone knows when sailing with us, we are putting our customer service at the forefront, and we're making sure that we have all of these best practices ready to go once we start sailing with passengers on our ships again. This is something we've always done. Customer service is obviously very, very important, but it's just now a promise that when passengers sail with us, we will make it right while you're on board our ship. You don't have to come home and then make phone calls, write letters, etc. Our Princess Vacation Protection, we've also enhanced. So we've increased coverages. The policy now also has coverage for COVID-19. If you unfortunately become ill, or if someone that you know becomes ill with COVID-19, the policy now covers that as well. Our Book with Confidence policy, I wanted to make sure just to show you a slide that just gives you all these policies, because it's very important. You can change your plans now up to 30 days prior to sailing, and you'd receive your cancellation fees back as a future cruise credit. back in the before COVID, pre-COVID era, if you canceled 30 days prior to sailing, you basically would either lose money and they would just be cancellation fees, or if you had purchased travel insurance, which hopefully you always do, you'll have future cruise credits or whatever the policy coverage might give you. You would file your claim and go that way if you have insurance. But with this Book with Confidence policy, you just know right off the top, if you have to change your plans within 30 days prior to your sailing, you'll receive your cancel fees back as a future cruise credit. Any fees are not cancellation fees, would just be refunded back to you. So like government taxes, those types of things are not ever kept as cancellation fees. Those would just be refunded back to you. You also have a year to use those future cruise credits. And this policy applies to all bookings made by June 30th. So get busy booking. And it's for cruises sailing through December 31st, 2021. We've also changed our final payment policies. Those policies range, depending on the length of your sailing, from 90 days to 70 days, 75 days. So just dependent on the sailing, but we've changed our final payment structure to final payments to be due at 60 days prior to departure for all cruises sailing through September 2021. So now to talk about the more fun stuff, we have our Princess Medallion class. So if you haven't heard about this, this is a fantastic technology that Princess has had in development for some time now. And now with things the way they are, it just really goes to show how lucky we are that we started investing in a program like this, because certain key areas such as whatever you need can be delivered right where you're sitting. So there's a mobile application that you can put on your smart device, whether it's your phone or a tablet. And when you download our Medallion class application or app, you can order a food item or drinks, lots of other different types of items right where you're sitting. So it's eliminating the need for standing in various lines around the ship. I think people, when you travel, sometimes you just get used to standing in lines, but we want passengers who sail with us to get busy relaxing or doing whatever you want and not in different lines around the ship. So hopefully that will be helpful also with the physical distancing aspect of things. You'll also be able to board faster because you are able to order your medallions in advance. So medallions, what those are, it's in the center of the screen. That's what it looks like. It's about the size of a quarter. There's sensors around the ship so that basically your medallion talks to those sensors. So when you get to the pier area, you have your medallion with you because you've already pre-ordered it. And basically you tap your medallion on this little screen, someone checks you in and you get on your way. So it's much quicker than it used to be. There's keyless stateroom entry, and you think that's not a big deal. I've sailed on 2 ships with the medallion, and it's amazing. Your hands could be full. You walk up to the door and it just, you could hear it unlock. Before, you would have had to get a key card, looks like a credit card, and slide it into the door to be able to gain entry. So you had to have a free hand. There's an app, a part of the app where you can find your shipmates. So if you're traveling with other passengers, you could locate them from your smart device. There's also playtime for all ages, whether that be casino games, real live casino games, trivia. You could play pool games from your tablet. There's a large movie screen, and but you're on your device and you go back and forth. Lots of fun games. Also, we have the best Wi-Fi at sea. So with all of this fantastic features of our app, you're connected to the ship's Wi-Fi. So you don't need to pay anything additional just to use all of these features. Okay. We've also upgraded our Wi-Fi. It's the best Wi-Fi at sea. It's definitely the fastest. The enhanced
Selena,
features are,
before you move on, real quick, I have a couple questions I just want to address real quick. For, I don't remember who said it, Sarah, to answer your question, yes, the medallion is very similar to a Magic Band, if you're familiar with the Disney. It's an RFID chip. So yes, it's pretty much like, I'm assuming it's a wearable, Selena?
Yes. So yes, it's wearable. It just has to be on your body, though, so it doesn't have to be visible.
Correct. So the reason she's asking that is Disney actually, I'm going to pop myself on screen here. Disney in 2013 came out with Magic Bands, and it's a wristband that essentially does the same thing. It unlocks your hotel, it's your park entry, it's all those
Mhm.
same things. So just clarification, yes, it is very similar to a Magic Band. I have not gotten to use the Princess version, but I have used Magic Bands many a time, and I'm assuming if it's as easy as Disney's, you got nothing to worry about. It's super easy.
And I will say, actually, the person who helped create and drive those magic bands is the person behind our medallion.
Yeah.
I have heard about them just because of that. I knew that there was the crossover. So it is like it, but there's just more features and there's more you can do with it because of the app and all of the things that are in there. Like, for example, you can fill out your health questionnaire.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
the
no
one
filling those
difference
things
that I
out.
saw is the health
Um,
questionnaire.
Touchless payments. So there's readers where you just are up next to like
Yeah.
the cash register, for example, and it reads.
Disney
Um,
can do it, but you have to be staying at a Disney hotel. That's the caveat
okay.
because they just
Yeah.
do it. It's like a room charge. It's not your credit card, so that's why they haven't
Mm,
gone to that yet. I think it's coming though.
okay. And then we have now real-time visibility into venue capacity, touchless embarkation and staggered arrival. So you can let us know when you're going to be getting to the pier. You can book shore excursions. You can check your passenger folio. There's lots of different features to the app so that you can know exactly what's going on every step of the way. You can look to see all of the different nightlife or daytime activities that are going on, all within that application. So you can plan your day, save things, share it. There's a messenger feature so you can actually instant message those that you're traveling with to keep in touch that way. So you're not leaving each other, notes on each other's doors and in your cabin. You can
Yeah,
just talk through your app. And like I said, you don't have to pay anything extra for it. It's
yeah,
just you're connected to the ship's Wi-Fi. So
perfect.
currently, those ships, Caribbean, Regal, Royal, Crown, Sky, and Ruby, are currently activated. So it's available on those ships. The ships below, we have 15 ships in our fleet. I should say they all range from 2,000 passengers to just over 3,600. So all of our ships will end up being medallion activated. So these features that I just went over and more will now be available on our entire fleet by the end of November of this year, which is exciting because we've ramped up the timeline because we've seen that a lot of these features are going to be helpful being in the era that we're now in. Um, okay, so just checking in. I have just a quick quiz for you. So we're going to start talking about destinations now. So the first question is, Princess does not visit which continent? North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Asia, Africa, or Antarctica, or none of the above? So none of the above. So Princess does visit everywhere across the globe. So, as a destination leader, we really look at all of the destinations that we visit, which is all of them, and we want to make sure that we're bringing to life the culture both on land and at sea. We have fantastic programs in coordination with Discovery Communications, which is the company that does Discovery Channel, for example, Animal Planet, and others. And we've created just festivals at sea, basically. So if you're sailing during Carnival, we'll have a Carnival themed festival on board our ships, just as an example. So no matter where you're sailing, if there are any of those special occasions going on, we bring it to life on board. We do a great job in Alaska. We have our North to Alaska program, which is award winning. We've curated special shore excursions for all of our destinations that we travel to that would either be marked with destination recommended or exclusive to Princess through Discovery Communications or Animal Planet. So, for example, there's a sloth sanctuary in the Caribbean where no one else is able to go there, but Princess can get you in because of the partnership that we have with Discovery. So lots of key features that we have around the world to really give you a great experience no matter which destination that you're traveling to. Just to look at all of the different areas that we visit around the world: Antarctica, South America, Panama Canal, and beyond. So I'll go over all of these destinations and just give you a glimpse at what we do in all of these destinations. The Princess difference would definitely just be the immersive onboard and ashore experiences. You can be as immersed as you'd like. And we have local cuisine, local entertainment, and experts come on board. We have lots of different favorites of those destinations brought on board. Like if you're sailing to Hawaii, for example, we'll have luau's on board, lei making classes, ukulele lessons, etc., just as an example. Okay, so now I'll go over to Alaska. So we're the #1 cruise line in Alaska, in my humble opinion. If any cruise line can own a destination, I do think that Princess has a pretty good mark in Alaska. We've been recommended 19 straight years by travel advisors for sailing with Princess on a cruise or extending the trip to a cruise tour, which I'll explain what that means in just a second. And we've won Best in Alaska 16 times by Travel Weekly. We take more guests to Alaska than any other cruise line, which is why we have so much of our fleet that's in Alaska. We have our award-winning onboard programs. Libby Riddle's the first woman to win the Iditarod. She'll come on board, do meet and greets and speaking engagements. We have puppies that get brought on in Skagway, so you can take your pictures with them. We have a naturalist that's on board, and when you're going through Glacier Bay, for example, they just point out what you're seeing. They explain things to you. When you're going through these glacier seeing areas, we'll pass around hot chocolate or spiked hot chocolate, depending on how early you want to start. But there's really something for everyone, something for every age, activity levels that really do range from very laid back and not strenuous at all to for the very active passenger. Okay. How to visit Alaska with Princess. We have lots and lots of options. We have our round trip cruises, which would either be 7 days round trip from Seattle, 10 days round trip San Francisco, or we have our one-way cruises, which is our Voyage of the Glacier itineraries. Those sailings go Vancouver to Whittier or Whittier to Vancouver. When you book one of those one-way cruises, you go just further up into Alaska, and you can actually add on a land portion, which is what we call a cruise tour. Cruise tours, when you have a cruise, a 7-day cruise, are owned and operated lodges, and then also our Denali train, which is exclusive to Princess. Fantastic features. If you have the time, I recommend to everyone to definitely do a cruise tour to spend more time on land and just get the real Alaska experience. We have our owned and operated lodge. You can pick the type lodges, I should say. You can pick which lodges you'd like to go to, how long you'd want to spend at each of those places. And this is just a glimpse at the lodges that we have. So we have our Denali, Princess Wilderness Lodge, Mount McKinley, Wilderness Lodge, Copper River, Kenai, and our Fairbanks Lodge. I've been to Denali, Mount McKinley myself. I've never had such a good trip in my life. It was absolutely beautiful. We have, again, our exclusive direct to the wilderness rail transfer. There's open air rail cars. There's also glass domed rail cars that are 2 levels. The top level would be where the rows of seats are. The bottom level is the dining area, so you can go down there and have lunch. It's a 9-hour train transfer. You're on with a host, so they're funny. They're very engaging. They tell you everything. They explain basically the things that you're passing. They point out wildlife. It didn't feel like 9 hours to me. It was definitely one of the highlights of my entire trip. Something to look forward to for sure. Okay, so that's Alaska in a nutshell. If you have any questions about any of these destinations, please give a shout. For Hawaii, so our Hawaii sailings, they are 15 days and they sail round trip Los Angeles or round trip from San Francisco, again for 15 days. These itineraries are very, very popular, especially for locals, because if they don't want to fly, they can just, take off right from Los Angeles or San Francisco. And if you like sea days, this is perfect because you have 4 days at sea there and back. And going over to Mexico. So Mexico that range from 5 to 10 days, and they sail round trip Los Angeles or San Francisco. Our 5-day sailings overnight in Cabo, so you can see what that port is like during the day and night. We have our 7 days, and then we also have our longer cruises that are those 10-day cruises. Fantastic itineraries to look forward to. I will also just make sure to mention that normally during the summer, we don't visit Mexico. But this summer, after June 30th, we do have itineraries available that will be sailing to Mexico for the first time in years and years. So please look at those itineraries if you're interested. And again, we do have them for 2021 during the summer. Our West Coast, those would be like our classic California coastal cruises. They range from 3 to 7 days, and those sail from Los Angeles or San Francisco. Great little getaways for those 3 days up to 7 days. So these are the itineraries that stop in areas like you can go up to Astoria, San Francisco, and then Santa Barbara, Catalina. Nice, very easy, relaxing cruises. Canada, New England. So we have these itineraries that are 7 days round trip from New York, 10 days from New York to Quebec. And you can also add a land portion to our 10-day itineraries up in Canada. And those are actually, sometimes they're forgotten about, but the itineraries are fantastic. So always, if you're thinking about spending more time in a port, look at our cruise tours because we have a lot of fantastic options to choose from in most of our cruise itineraries. So Alaska, Canada, New England would be the next where we have cruise tour options. And also, so moving over to the Caribbean. So the Caribbean, we have fantastic itineraries that range from 3, 4, 7, and 8-day cruises, but we do have itineraries that you can extend up to 20 days. For Caribbean, we have something called the Rhythm of the Caribbean. It's one of our newer onboard destination programs. We have parrots that we bring on board. I've seen them myself. They're beautiful. You can take pictures with them. They're in our Piazza area, and just a lot of really fun nightlife, daytime activities for all ages. We offer Eastern, Southern, and Western Caribbean options. And moving down to Panama Canal. So we have 10 days round trip from Fort Lauderdale. Those round trip from Fort Lauderdale itineraries go through, so there's 6 locks in the Panama Canal. We go through the first 3 locks during our 10-day itineraries. We turn around in Gatun Lake, and then we come back out those same 3 locks. If you want the full Panama Canal experience, you would take our 15-day itinerary, which would go from Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles or reverse. And that itinerary would be the one that you'd go through all 6 locks. And we do have voyages going through the newer locks or the old historic locks. So if you've already gone through the old historic locks, maybe now is the time for you to go get on through the new locks. Okay, so South America and Antarctica. We have fantastic options here. Really great cruise tours that would visit Machu Picchu or Iguazu Falls. Definitely one of my bucket list items. And we have itineraries that go from Buenos Aires, Santiago, or Los Angeles. These are special itineraries. Definitely, if you're looking at going to South America, all of our itineraries, they are unique, or most of them are unique. Okay, so and they can be as short as 14 days or as long as 34. Okay. With that, we're going to jaunt over to Europe. So our Europe itineraries, we do have our itineraries out for this year. They've not all been canceled, but then we also have our 2022 options available, and the voyages range from 4 to 30 days. And I'll go into each type of itinerary. Look here, this is a map of Europe. These are all of the different destinations that we visit, or port cities, 110 in total. We also have cruise tours available in Europe if you wanted to extend your time with Princess and have all of your options and all of your package just through us. You can do that also with Justin. And moving over to specifics. So Scandinavian Russia, one of our most popular itineraries. This is definitely on my bucket list. My bucket list is long though. Our itineraries go round trip from London or Copenhagen. They are range from 7, 8, 12, 14, or as long as 30 days. So lots of great options here. It's definitely nice because you do get a nighttime experience in St. Petersburg. And just a very, very fantastic overview of these ports. For the British Isles, we offer round trip London itineraries that range from 4 to 14 days. Also, our Grand Mediterranean itineraries, they many options in terms of embarkation ports. They would either go from Athens, Rome, Barcelona, or London. We do have fantastic cruise tours available for these for that itinerary specifically. And then a popular right now is our Iceland and Norway itineraries. These sailings go round trip from London or Copenhagen to London, and they range 7 to 21 days. Okay, so now going over to Japan. We have a fantastic partnership with the Japanese Tourism Board, which has really helped us curate fantastic shore excursions and, on land experiences. We offer cruise tours. Our itineraries go round trip from Tokyo. We have local entertainment that's brought on board, local cuisine, wines, etc. These itineraries, they're definitely 100% princess experience. However, you'll find that the destination is brought to life. It's highlighted on these itineraries, meaning that when you go to dinner, you might have a bowl of sticky rice or another local favorite that's on the table every night. You have a teapot that's in your stateroom, whereas if you go on another itinerary, those types of things aren't necessarily always going to happen. So we do a very, very great job at highlighting Japan and going to all of the fantastic places there are to visit there. But then also, if you wanted to extend your time on land, you have those options with Princess with our cruise tours. So our Australia and New Zealand Princess is the #1 chosen company to sail with. When you're in Australia, we have 6 ships home ported there with cruise tours. If you want to spend more time in Australia, we visit over 80 destinations from Australia, and we have our onboard program called Across the Ditch, which is the term or the phrase, I should say, that's used when locals go between Australia and New Zealand. This was further down on my bucket list, but the more and more I talk to people about Australia and New Zealand, everyone tells me that I need to move it up. That's absolutely fantastic, beautiful. We do a fantastic job bringing the destination to life on board. We have sailings through the Fiordlands National Park. The glowworm caves, and again, local entertainment. Okay, so I need to do that. Sorry. So our world cruise. So our world cruise for 2023 recently opened. We had our largest booking day ever in our history for our 2023 cruise, which was very exciting. We do still have space though, so I want to make sure that if anybody has a world cruise on your bucket list, make sure to contact Justin, and got tripped up there, and book one of these. We have early booking discounts and early booking promotions, which I'll show you on my next slide. We have a January 5th option that will sail round trip from Fort Lauderdale for 111 days. 111 days if you want to sail from Los Angeles on January 19th, or if you would like to sail from Los Angeles to Fort Lauderdale for 97 days on January 19th. We have our world cruise on the Island Princess, which can accommodate just over 2,000 passengers. Most cabins on this ship are balconies. On our world cruise, we will visit 50 destinations. We have 10 late night calls, which just means that we're in ports till 8 or after or later, which is nice because you're there all day. And we have overnight stays in both Dubai and Venice, which is definitely highlights. So our full world cruise early booking benefits. The limited time offer ends on August 31st. So if you want to get in on these early booking benefits, make sure to book before August 31st. If you book before then, you would then receive our premium drink package with tips included, unlimited Wi-Fi, and prepaid gratuities if you book into the Princess Plus promotion. Okay. The early booking benefit specifically applies towards the round trip airfare. You'd get first class round trip air for suite passengers. If you book a mini suite, you'd fly first class to and from Los Angeles or Fort Lauderdale, and it's good for the first 2 guests in a stateroom. And then you'd receive economy class round trip.
Sorry about that, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We've got Selena back connected, so we don't know what happened. Fun of being live and the joys of live. Sometimes things just break, and you don't know why. I really don't know what happened. Just like I was telling her, all of a sudden she was just gone. Like you guys all saw it in real time. It was just like black. When you guys see the recording, I will edit that out, so you guys won't see that random cutout. So if you're really confused why all of a sudden she was just talking about something and she's now talking with me, we had a little technical glitch. So we're just going to roll with it. I'm going to let her take it away. We're going to jump to the promotions and then we'll do some Q&A.
Yeah. Okay. So our current promotion, well, hello everybody again. Our current promotion that we're running is our Princess Plus. This promotion has a $95 value per person per day for just $40 per person per day. This promotion includes our premier beverage package, including gratuities. So you won't book into this promotion and get the premier beverage package, but then have to pay extras for tips or gratuities once you're on the ship. It includes all of those tips and gratuities that you might have to pay on a beverage that you purchase on board because you have the premier beverage package included in this promotion. You also then get unlimited Wi-Fi and gratuities paid on your behalf. All 3 of those items, like I just said, if you'd normally purchase those things individually once you got on board, it would be $95 per person per day. So if you book this promotion in advance, you're only paying $40 per person per day. It's available on all cruises that we offer, with the exception of, I think the list is like 10 different sailings. A lot of them are in Australia. So it's available on most of our itineraries that we offer. We also have various agency exclusives, for example, that Justin has access to, where it can get you other types of onboard credits, bottles of wine, things like that. So if you're looking at a specific sailing, Justin could always let you know what those various onboard exclusives that he'd be able to offer you are, in addition to that Princess Plus promotion or whatever promotion that you book into. And then also, if you happen to have Carnival shares or stock, we also offer onboard credit. I believe it's 30 shares at least, you have to send in a copy of your share statement. And once we verify that, then we add the onboard credit to your account, your onboard account, and it's up to $250. We also have our military benefit program, where we offer up to $250 in onboard credit for active, retired, and disabled veterans. It's available on all cruises that we offer at any time during the year. Okay, so no exceptions. And it's combinable with all of our other promotions. So it just helps you add value to whatever you're booking. So this is an eye test, last but not least. If you see this watermelon as red, you're normal. If you see it as green, you're a bit odd. And if you see it as blue, you need a cruise, and hopefully with Princess Cruises. I just want to take a moment to thank you so much for spending so much time with us today. And sorry about that glitch. I have literally no idea what happened, but thanks for hanging in there with me. And hopefully we get to see you on board soon. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Selena. Before we jump into that Q&A, that was awesome. And again, our apologies on that technical.
That's totally fine.
Although I'm just saying it to the viewers more than anything. Like, sorry about that. We really don't know what happened. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, thank you for staying with us. We actually gained a few people during that, so I'm not sure if that was to our benefit. So, well, okay, so we have tons of questions here. I'm just gonna kind of take them, and then you and I can kind of tackle them together here.
Hmm.
So I've got a question here. Let me. Where'd it go? I just lost it. There it is. Can you talk about the um, different types of room categories? They're new to Princess and aren't really sure
Yeah,
like what would be best for them in terms of room category.
definitely. Okay, so all of our ships have inside. Um, well, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so we have 15 ships in our fleet. Okay, so within our ships, we have various categories. Each category would be categorized based on location of the ship, location and deck level up, but then also location of where you are on the deck itself. So whether you're midship, towards the front of the ship, or towards the back of the ship, those can all be different categories. But the main types would be interior cabins where you don't have a window, which are fantastic for those passengers who don't spend a lot of time in your cabin, and you're fine with an inside cabin, which many passengers are. Then we have obstructed ocean view. They're usually obstructed with a lifeboat. We also have unobstructed ocean view cabins, where it's an unobstructed view with a picture window. We then have balcony staterooms, deluxe balcony staterooms, mini suite categories. The mini suites, they're about 323 square feet on most of our ships. I didn't tell you the square footage of the others. Balcony staterooms, I believe, are about 159 square feet. Ocean view, about 123, I think. We'd have to double check these numbers. And interior about the same size as the ocean view, except for they just wouldn't have the window. We also have our club class mini suite. So going back to mini suites. So mini suites, then club class mini suite. Club class basically is our highest category of mini suites, where when you book into that category, you get more amenities. So you would get access to our club class dining room, which is just a smaller, more intimate dining room, a bit longer menu, tableside service on more nights than you might get in our other main dining rooms around the ship. You also have our full suite. So our full suite staterooms on board can be over 500 square feet. Also, you have access to that same club class dining room, and you also get various suite special amenities, such as access to the thermal suite. When you book into those full suites on ships where they have the thermal suite, you get complimentary dry cleaning and laundry. So just a lot more amenities. We can send you the amenity list if you are interested in booking one of those full suites or club class mini suites. So those are the different category types.
Awesome. Another question. I think this was more aimed at me. In terms of the promotion Princess is booking, yes, absolutely. I can help you get that booked right away. No need to wait until Princess starts sailing. We can definitely get you booked into that
Mhm.
as soon as possible. And is there a deadline when they have to sail by on that?
No, so this Princess Plus promotions are always available fair. If you don't think that you're going to use the beverage package, for example, you're fine with water and lemonade and or coffee, for example, and you just don't want it because you don't feel like you'll use it, so you don't want to invest in something that you aren't going to use. We also have another fare without any of these amenities, so Justin can look into that fare for you also to just give you the two options if you might be one of those that just won't use the beverage package or even Wi-Fi.
I know I'd be using the Wi-Fi because I kind of live on it. Um, okay, what else do we have for questions? So yes, and so this question's asking specifically about our thing right now. Is we currently quote all trips with travel insurance because of COVID-19. That was a decision I made very early on that the price you get from me is automatically going to include that travel insurance. So you actually have to ask us to take it off. We automatically add it on. We do not give you the price without it right now just because you don't know what could happen right now. And I think Selena would agree with me on that one.
Oh, I'll give you my 2 cents on travel insurance just quickly. Um, it would be like driving a car without car insurance. Travel insurance, it's for everything you're not expecting to happen but might. And you want to insure yourself. You want to insure your investment and make sure that you're covered. I tell everyone like that you should definitely always buy insurance to travel.
Yeah. Can you talk about specifically like what type? So like we're seeing a lot now with Disney and with even Carnival to some extent. You know, they're talking about possibly not having their nighttime entertainment.
Yes, I'm
Just due to
sorry.
COVID.
In terms of our just in general, our onboard activities, in general, we have something for everyone. Something very slow paced, laid back, or if you just want a corner to relax in the quiet, we have those areas around the ship too. But then we have lots of activities going on during the day and night. Whether it might be in our large Princess Theater, you'll have a Broadway main production show there. Or if you go to one of our other venues, you might see a comedian. In the Piazza, our main central area of all of our ships, you might see acrobatics, singers, dancers, musicians. All around the ship, there'll be at least 6 to 7 different venues, even out by the pool, where we'll have music, dancing, conga lines. So, just different things depending on what you'd like. We have movies under the stars with lounge chairs that are covered in nice soft fabrics. We even have blankets that will pass out, popcorn made where you watch a blockbuster new release movie up on our gigantic movies under the stars big screen. In terms of how our activities on board are going to change because of COVID and because of the physical distancing aspect, specifics haven't been given yet. We already know that we will be having onboard entertainment on all of our ships. That's just part of cruising. But in terms of if we're maybe going to offer shows instead of 3 times a night, maybe one production show, in our main Princess Theater, maybe we're going to then offer it 4 times because we're going to need to have less people in that theater. Those are just things that we're guessing is going to happen because none of it has been laid out for us yet in terms of how there might need to be changes of capacity controlling things in the different venues for different shows and activities.
Yeah, and that was the kind of sense we got from Carnival was that, we anticipate needing to change it.
Yeah.
We just don't know what. But I just didn't know if you had any indicators of.
Exactly what now.
Someone is asking, and this is super easy on your end, if you can just put up the slide with my contact information again so they can jot it down.
Of course. Well,
and I will just pull that back up. As far as office hours, I love to say I don't run office hours. And the reason I say that is because you can call me really anytime. When you guys call that number, it actually goes to a cell phone. So if I'm available, I answer. So, but you're always welcome to book an appointment with me. I'm just waiting for her to get back to the slide. And then...
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. You are totally fine.
Oh, gosh, no.
I've done this many a time. Okay. Boom. Why did that not go? There we go. So there is that contact information. It's just Justin at Your Adventurous Calling, 407-972-0205. You can call at any time. We are available pretty much whenever. So definitely let us know if you are interested in booking something. In terms of cruise schedule, do you guys have, I think I saw something, 2022 for sure, 2023? Is that out?
So we have 2022.
Okay.
However, that being said, some of our fall 2022s are not available yet. But more will be released through. Yeah, there was some redeployments and some changes with some of our itineraries, and our program release date also changed just because of everything. But we are going to be releasing our Americas voyages, so anything sailing out of a U.S. port. So the Caribbean, Canada, New England, Mexico, coastal, Hawaii, etc. Those will be released mid-April, and then Japan, Australia, and others will be released, I believe, towards the end of the month and then into May. So more is going to be released. So you should have access to most of 2022. It's just for 23, fall of 2022 into the
The
spring
biggest one
and
I
summer
was
of
making sure
2023.
was, and we were seeing it a lot, and one of my fellow travel agents was talking about, and I agree with him on this, is a lot of people like to go on cruises around the holidays.
Yeah.
Rates are at historic lows right now with
Mhm.
Princess, with Carnival, with all of them, really. Now is the time you can lock in those rates, especially if you have a group. Lock in those group cruises now. Let us help you with that. That's why we're here. We want to,
Mhm.
I'm like you. I like saving a buck or two when I can. So definitely reach out. We can help you. Those rates are out for 2022. If you're wanting to go around New Year, after the first of the year, let's get it booked now so you can lock in those rates as soon as possible. Anything else I missed? Sorry, I'm just trying to filter through all, because there's a lot of ones we've already answered or things you've covered since the question came in. So I'm just trying to scroll through here. Oh, this is a good one. Bounce back offers. Should they utilize a bounce back offer if they booked with a travel agent?
What is the bounce back? I've not heard that.
So a bounce back is when they get offered to book for their next cruise at the end of the current cruise.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so our we have a program. It's called our Deposit Future Cruise Credit Program. When a passenger is on board, you would put down a deposit. It's $100 per person, so that when you go to book your next cruise, you have that lowered deposit that's already taken care of, and then you have an onboard credit that's also waiting for you on your next cruise. Justin would automatically be emailed showing that you booked that, or you put down your deposit for your next cruise, so that he can contact you once you get home and get busy planning your next vacation.
Perfect.
So
I think a lot of people just get scared about that because they're like, I booked
they
through an
think they're
agent.
cheating on you.
They think they're cheating or something like that. So I always
Yeah.
like to ask that, because that's a good thing to clarify. It's okay.
It is.
I think we've covered pretty much everything here. Is there anything you can think of that I might have missed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Big thank you to Selena from Princess Cruises. You guys will actually be seeing her again at the end of the month for Canard. But we are not doing one next week. We're taking the week off next week, and then we will be back on April 14th for Sandals Resorts. So we will see you guys all then. Have a great night, everybody, and we will talk to you guys on the 14th.